Hey guys, welcome back to the Behaviour Revolution, and as promised we're going to start going through some other side articles here that are really vital to know in the boot camp and coming into the quarry. And so if you're on our Behaviour Revolution webpage, you can see up in our first menu here, there's all those articles we did coming through the vein, that map where we went through the blood, water, spirit, fire. Boot camp quarry to the New Jerusalem was our final step of the vein. But now I want to come into an article called Truth Bombs.
What now, my love? Now that it's over, I feel the world closing in on me. Here come the stars tumbling around. Where the sea should be.
But now I want to come into an article called Truth Bombs. This is from last night, Tuesday night. Christopher was taking us through, and it was just an impromptu discussion at the table after our meeting. We didn't even film it. I wish we had. It was amazing. He was talking about truth bombs. So I want to take you through it because I think it's vital. I don't want it to disappear in the annals of time and down the news feed. I want this to be made known. Truth bombs, because this is the stuff that's supposed to be coming from us as we progress out of the boot camp into the home quarry and we start shining. Truth bombs start to come forth in the arena of life. This is called truth bombs in the arena of life, being confident and active in Yahusha's mandate. Confident and active. What does that mean? Let's go into it. Welcome to the arena of life. Because every day we walk out our front door, we go to work, we enter a shop, we sit in a cafe, visit somebody, deal with a customer, speak to a neighbour, answer a phone call, or meet someone new. Every day we are entering an arena filled with people. Realise that? It's like an arena. Like in the old gladiators in the Colosseum, you're entering an arena. Not every arena has to be full of conflict and fighting, though, but you are entering an arena. Real people, different personalities, different backgrounds, different beliefs, different problems, different wounds, different opinions. And Yahusha has placed us right amongst them. Bloom where you're planted. His mandate is still, go and make disciples of all nations. Don't lose sight of that. That's the goal. But sometimes we have made that sound far more complicated and religious than it actually is. Making disciples does not mean walking around like the scripture police, waiting for someone to say something wrong so we can jump on them with a verse. It does not mean catching people out. It does not mean showing everyone how much scripture we know. It does not mean forcing ourselves into conversations so that we can dominate people, correct everything they believe, and prove that we are spiritually superior. Because that is disgusting religious behaviour. It's disgusting religion. That's not what we're talking about here when we talk about truth bombs in the arena of life. Being confident and active in Yahusha's mandate. It's not what we're talking about. Not disgusting religion. Religious domination does not demonstrate Yahusha's loving kindness. You can quote scripture at somebody and still behave horribly towards them. You can know chapter and verse and still be arrogant. You can win an argument and still lose the person. You can supposedly speak the truth while your behaviour communicates pride, you're up yourself, superiority and contempt. That's not loving kindness, is it? That's not Yahusha's way. Yahusha certainly spoke the truth. He rebuked, he corrected, he exposed hypocrisy. He never watered down the truth to make people comfortable, though. Never did that. But look at how he moved among ordinary people. He ate with them. He walked with them, talked with them. He listened to them, listened to people, asked them questions. He went into their homes, attended meals and gatherings, noticed people. He showed compassion. Noticed people. He was approachable enough that ordinary people wanted to be around him. You willing to just notice somebody? People out there desperate, just wanting somebody to know that they exist. You know? Because we live in a system that treats you like a number, treats you like a slave, treats you like you don't even exist. People just want to feel like they exist, that somebody cares. So perhaps we need to rethink what being active in Yahusha's mandate actually looks like in the everyday arena of life. Yeah, we at the Behaviour Revolution here have been given a video mandate to start putting out videos, and been given it a while ago actually, to put out videos to reach further than just our local community. But even in your local community, there's people. You're in an arena. So we need to rethink what being active in Yahusha's mandate actually looks like in the everyday arena of life. Maybe you don't need to walk into every conversation carrying a spiritual sledgehammer. Maybe you simply need to learn how to love people, enjoy people, listen to people, laugh with people, help people, and be genuinely interested in them. Genuinely interested in them. Drop a truth bomb. Not 50 truth bombs. Not an hour-long lecture they never asked for. Just one. Just a sentence, a thought, a question. Something Yahusha has shown you through your own deliverance. Drop a bomb. A love bomb. A truth bomb. Drop it into the conversation and keep moving. You don't have to wait around for a response. You don't have to make sure they agree with you before you move on. No, you can just drop the bomb and keep going. Or if they don't like it and don't agree with you, change the subject. You know? Oh, well, what about this weather today? People, you can easily change subjects, but you can still drop bombs and people will think about it afterwards. You might be laughing with someone at work and suddenly the conversation turns towards relationships. Boom! Truth bomb. What could you say here? You might be having coffee and someone starts talking about anxiety or loneliness or fear. Boom! Truth bomb. What could you say? This is where you got to listen to Yahusha. He'll give you something to say. Someone mentions that they feel trapped in a behaviour they cannot escape. Boom! You tell them briefly what Yahusha delivered you from. If that's what's going on. Someone starts talking about how empty everything feels despite having money, entertainment, food, and everything else available on demand. Boom! What could you say? Maybe there is something deeper they are actually hungry for. What could you ask them? What could you say? You don't necessarily need to turn every conversation into a sermon. Some conversations may not even touch on Yahusha at all. You might even just talk to them about the 3 rules. That's a really good inlet for people. Don't take anything personal. That works on worldly people too, because it's the word. The word works if you use it. No quoting scripture. Plant something and have fun doing it. Give them something to think about. And if Yahusha wants that conversation to go deeper, it will. This requires something many people have lost today. Confidence. Not confidence in yourself. Confidence in Yahusha. There's a massive difference. What is the difference? Confidence in yourself, self-confidence says, look at me. Look at me. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about, and I've got a story to tell you. It's all about me, though. And I'm, stalking every conversation so I can tell you about me. Confidence in Yahusha says, I know who I belong to. I know what he has done in me. I don't need to prove myself to anybody because I know who I am. And if it comes up and it's the situation where you can drop a truth bomb, someone else might need to know what he's done in you too. That kind of confidence is powerful because it isn't desperate for approval. People who are desperate for approval have to prove themselves, mansplain everything, go into endless stories about themselves to prove their point. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need everybody to like you. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. In fact, it's so much fun pretending to be the dumbest. You know who you are in Yahusha. You know who you are in Yahusha. You belong to the King. You have been called into his royal household. Peter calls Yahusha's people a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set-apart nation, a people for a possession, who proclaim the excellencies of the one who called them out of darkness into his marvelous light. That's royalty, baby. That's royalty. Do you walk into every room knowing that you are royalty? Or do you walk in, being, huddled by a multitude of foxes, Scriptural royalty isn't walking around demanding everybody bow to us. Royalty under Yahusha humbly serves, becomes the least, and draws no attention to the self. Yahusha washed feet. Alahim, the creator of heaven and earth, washed feet. So knowing who we are should produce security, not superiority. Security meaning you're not afraid. What can they do? What could they really say to you that hasn't been said to you? So there's no fear, and you're not superior. You're not up yourself. Security makes communication easier. Why? Why does having no fear and being secure in Yahusha make communication easier? Because one of the biggest barriers to communication is being trapped inside our own heads. A lot of us have been through this, the I. What do they think about me? What will they think about me? Will I look stupid? What if they reject me? What if this gets awkward? What should I say? What if they don't like me? How many eyes were in there? Listen to all those eyes from those frontal lobe foxes, filtering frontal lobe foxes. All the eyes. We call it shyness. The world calls it shyness. We call it introversion. We call it social awkwardness. Yahusha just calls it flat out plain rude. It's just rude. It's disobedient. So call it what it is. It's rude. Sometimes we simply need to recognize how much attention is being directed towards self. Self-worship is sin. It's idolatry. It's abomination. It's the abomination that lays waste. And there's a whole list in Scripture of things that Yahusha considers an abomination. And your self-life is one of them. It's just plain rude. Being shy, being awkward, being silent, holding back all the time and not speaking is rude. It's rude and disobedient. We've all been it. We all have to change. Some of us have been the opposite and have been just always too loud and boisterous and have to be told to shut up by Yahusha. But most of us have been afraid of something. So we have to change. What happens if we walk into the same room and ask a completely different question? Instead of focusing on yourself and all these stupid, foxical thoughts, what happens if you walk into the same room and ask a completely different question? Yahusha, who is here that you want me to notice? What do you want me to do in this room today? What do you want me to say or be? You're listening. Now everything changes. You're not looking at yourself anymore. You're looking at people. You're looking at who looks lonely, who looks uncomfortable, who's sitting by themselves, who's new, who seems discouraged, who could use a laugh, who has an interesting story, who might simply need somebody to acknowledge that they even exist. And again, this is generalizing. Whatever room you might walk into, it might be your own business, it might be your own lounge room. Everywhere we go, there's an arena to start practicing in, because none of us have done this very well, if at all. So we need to practice this. Suddenly, communication is not about performing, because performing is about yourself and what you think about yourself, and causing other people to try and think what you think about yourself. I love myself, so you should love me the way I love me. No, this is about focusing on other people. And there's so much freedom if you step into this. It's about loving and lifting and enjoying someone else for a change. You don't have time to be thinking about yourself. You don't have time to be anxious about anything or afraid of anything, because you're too busy thinking about what the other person's going through. And this is one of the simplest ways to become confident socially. Become interested in other people. That's the key. That is the key to becoming confident socially. When you walk into any room, you're just focused on other people. You don't have to be endlessly interested if you're genuinely, you don't have to be endlessly interesting if you're genuinely interested. So you don't have to appear like an interesting, cool, funky person if you're just interested in other people. Ask questions. What do you do? How did you get into that? Where did you grow up? How's your family? What are you working on? What do you enjoy doing? And then actually listen. It's not a script. You're listening for the answers, because the answers fuel more questions. So instead of, don't stand there waiting for them to stop talking so you can tell them about yourself. That's what most people do. They're waiting for a gap, waiting for someone to take a breath so you can jump in and say, yes, I did that too. And then that story's gone. You've deviated it all over to yourself and all about you. No, stick with them. Stick with them. It's much better to just keep them talking. They feel better, and you learning more about them. You can help. Listen, remember things. Ask another question. Laugh, have some humor, enjoy the moment. People can tell the difference between someone who wants to know them and someone who is merely waiting for an opportunity to preach at them. Or a better way to say it would be merely waiting for an opportunity to talk about themselves, to use what you're saying to springboard into some grand crescendo about me. And somewhere in those genuine relationships, doors open. That's where truth bombs can drop. Drop a truth bomb, mate. People can tell the difference between someone who wants to know them and someone who is merely waiting. We already said that. Somewhere in there, truth bombs will open. Not because we manipulated the conversation. Truth bombs don't happen because you've manipulated the conversation. It happens because trust is developed. A friendship is developed. You become fishers of men. If you've wondered why the theme of this video is all about fishes, it's becoming fishers of men. Paul said, let your word always be with flavour. Favour, but also flavour because it's seasoned with salt, so that you know how you ought to answer each one. Favour and seasoned with salt. You know how amazing salt is. You can put salt on anything. It's awesome. Your conversation should be seasoned with salt. So it makes it flavourable, gives it some zest, gives it some power, some passion, makes it palatable, wonderful, exciting, enjoyable. Make your conversation enjoyable. So let your word always be with favour, seasoned with salt, so that you know how you ought to answer. You'll know how you ought to answer because you're listening to the one who gives you all the answers, Yahusha. Paul also told us to be all things to all people. Laugh with those who laugh, mourn with those who mourn. Be understanding. That's what letting people have it is. That's what real love is. Understanding what someone else is going through. Even if it's like light years away from what you're going through, you may not even agree with the word they're saying, but you're understanding them, hearing them, making them feel like they exist. There is a time to speak, a time to listen, a time to challenge, a time to encourage, a time for seriousness. Sometimes there's just a good time to have a good laugh, laugh together. Humour can break tension. Humour can make people comfortable. Humour can communicate that you aren't standing there judging them from some religious pedestal. You can have fun and still carry the truth. You can be relaxed and still be set apart, You can laugh and still recognise when Yahusha opens a door for something serious. Maybe it's time we all change our demeanour and make ourselves lovingly kind and fun people to be around. Add a bit of joy and a spark and some humour into the conversation. You can still bring the truth in. In fact, it'd probably be better and easier to bring it in if you've set up that kind of environment, atmosphere. That's learning to consciously communicate in the arena of life. Not just, robotically speaking some kind of script like they teach you at, pyramid schemes or Amway, or teaching you how to door-to-door salesman, just waffling off some script, ticking boxes like a telemarketer. No. you're becoming conscious of another person. Conscious of Yahusha first, and conscious of your neighbours, loving your neighbours. This is how you do it in the arena of life. And this matters more than ever because our generation is becoming increasingly isolated these days. People can work from home, order dinner to the door, buy everything online, watch endless entertainment, scroll through thousands of people on social media, and still barely have a genuine conversation or any connection in their day. Millions are living behind screens, and then Yahusha says, go outside. So that's why this is revolutionary behaviour just in itself. Go outside, talk to somebody, invite someone over, have a coffee, share food, listen to them, help them, encourage them, laugh with them, build relationships, open your home up. Let people see what Yahusha's transformation actually looks like in a living human being, Because a disciple isn't merely someone who knows information. A disciple is transformed, someone who's been transformed, and they're following Yahusha. And transformed people become evidence. People should eventually be able to look at our behaviour and think something has happened to this person. Maybe they knew you, maybe they knew how angry you were, maybe they knew how selfish you were, how frightened, how isolated, how lustful, how miserable you were. Maybe they knew how socially awkward and withdrawn you used to be, and they see something different in you. So, see this guy? No confidence, down, depressed, looking at the ground, moody. Now he's up, happy, excited, inspired. People notice these things. So people will see this. They'll see something different. They'll peace, joy, patience, kindness, self-control, confidence, love, humour, generosity, courage. That's a walking testimony, a witness of Yahusha's deliverance. We've got to make this real. Take it to the streets, guys. And when you drop a truth bomb, there's something behind it then, because you've lived it. It's not just robotic speech, sermoning, no. It's not religious, disgusting behaviour. When you drop a truth bomb into a loving relationship like this, that you've worked hard to gain a friendship and stand by somebody, there's something behind it. You've lived it. You're not saying, look how wonderful I am. You're saying, look what Yahusha did to me. And that's where the power is, in his word. This is why the mandate is not reserved for people who think they have a particular extroverted personality. That's what we've all thought, isn't it? Oh, I don't have that personality. Leave that to the evangelist type people. No, that's religious. Everybody's called to be transformed. Everybody's called to have a message, have the right word at the right time. We've all been there, haven't we? That's for the extroverted people. I can't do that because I'm an introvert. I don't talk much. I'm shy. I'm not good with people. I wouldn't know what to say. All those foxes are just biting at your ears there. These are all foxes. They're all lies. They're all lies. And they've turned it into a condition these days. Introverted, anxiety, all these things. People, the younger generations, are just proud of being like this. They're so relieved if nobody talks to them. Because, isn't that the epitome of self-worship? And rude. But who said Yahusha intends to leave us exactly as he found us? Yahusha transforms people completely. Not just our beliefs and mindsets, not just a few external behaviours. He works on our desires, habits, reactions, courage, attitudes, priorities, relationships, and yes, even the personality through which we interact with the world. He changes everything. Moses protested that he wasn't a speaker. Jeremiah thought that he was inadequate. Timothy had to be encouraged against fear. Yet Alahim's purpose was bigger than how these men naturally saw themselves. The issue is normally not that we physically lack the ability to speak. We speak perfectly well we speak perfectly well when something interests us. We talk when we're excited, don't we? We communicate when we want something. And we can all talk forever about our greatest love, ourself. So don't say you can't talk. You can definitely talk when there's something you're excited about. People can waffle off sports statistics. People can waffle off comic books and superheroes and all those gaming geeks out there. They can waffle off all the things that interest them, can't they? The men can waffle off about their tools and their, cars and all this garbage they go on about. Everybody can waffle off things that interest them, can't they? And of course we can all ramble on forever about ourselves, because that's our greatest love, isn't it? Ourself. The deeper question is, do I want to take my mind off myself long enough to care about the person in front of me? If you don't, you won't have this experience, because Yahushua may want to reach that person through you. Maybe he wants from you or maybe all he wants from you today is to smile at people, make a joke, make a conversation, maybe 5 minutes of listening, maybe an invitation, maybe some practical help, maybe one sentence of truth, maybe one perfectly timed truth bomb that they remember 3 months from now when their whole world falls apart. So you don't know the big picture. The truth that you sow, you don't know where it can go. The truth that you sow, you don't know where it can go. So you don't know. Your responsibility is to be available and willing. That is confidence in Yahushua, walking into the arena knowing, I know who I am. I know whose I am. I don't need to impress anybody. I'm here to love people, serve people. I'm here to represent my King. And when Yahushua opens the door, drop a truth bomb. Then keep loving them. Don't dominate them. Don't try and catch them out. Don't chase them around demanding that they agree with you. Don't turn every friendship into a religious interrogation. Plant seeds. Water them each time you see them. Just keep loving them and asking questions. Serve them. Live this behaviour and love. Speak when it's time to speak, and trust Yahushua with what happens next. And shut up when he tells you to shut up. Because the arena is already around us, our homes, our streets, our workplaces, businesses, families, shops, cafes, communities. That's where we've been sown. Bloom where you're planted. That's where people are, and that's where the mandate happens. Okay? This is another aspect to the mandate, not just a video mandate. Make fishers of men. Yeah? Get out of your own head. Stop being selfish and self-indulgent and worshipping yourself. Forget about yourself, concentrate on him and worship Yahushua and focus on other people. Get out of your head, get out of hiding. Get involved, be interested, be confident in Yahushua, know who you are in him, have some fun, love people and listen to people. This is where we all need to go, brothers and sisters. Have experience in this, because we're all illiterate. We're all bubbies, we're all dumb. We can't string the right words together because we've never bloody well practiced, because we all love ourselves too much. But when the moment comes, drop a truth bomb in the arena of life. Drop a truth bomb in the arena of life. Be confident and active in Yahusha's mandate. There's no such thing as an introverted person or an extroverted person. That's just like saying the same stuff they go on with autism and stuff. It's all demons. Yeah? All the mental disorders and categories they put you in the world is garbage. You can all talk when you want to talk. I can talk about myself till the cows come home, and I've exhausted people to no end, and I've had enough of it, and so have they. So there's no such thing as an introverted and extroverted person. You can all do this if you want to. If you want to take your mind off yourself for 5 minutes to love somebody else. Imagine the state they're in. Just look, can't you have compassion and feel sorry for them? And love them and give them gentle, loving kindness? You can still have fun with it, you know? That's the message today. This is what Yahushua, this is what Christopher gave us last night, and Yahushua just prompted me to keep, looking into it, because I didn't want it to get lost. There's a really good video there we did a couple of months ago about the good news. Christopher spoke to us about the good news, and are people attracted to Yahushua in your behaviour? So that's a shorter version. That's an extract of this longer video here. Are people attracted to Yahushua in your behaviour? Carrying on the theme. That's a really good video. You should watch that. And we talked about the mandate. We've talked about all these topics a lot, but last night was just phenomenal. Christopher broke it right down and said, drop truth bombs, love bombs, truth bombs. So likewise, you should do the same, brothers and sisters. Go there. And this is all part of your boot camp. Or have you not even come into a boot camp yet? Because you should. You're not going to make it if you don't come into a boot camp and be refined in a home quarry. You're not going to make it to the end goal, New Jerusalem. So, love you, brothers and sisters. Start dropping truth bombs. See ya.
What now, my love? Now that you've left me, how can I live through another day, watching my dreams turn into ashes and my hopes into bits of clay? Once I could see, once I could feel, now I am numb, I've become unreal. I walk the night without a goal, stripped of my heart, my soul. What now, my love? Now that it's over, I feel the world closing in on me. Here come the stars tumbling around me. There's the sky where the sea should be. What now, my